So these are the materials I used for this gown. So here with me I have 3 yards of African print and half yard of satin materials. So to start, what I did was to go ahead and fold my material into two. Now after making the first fold, I also went ahead and folded it again, making it a fold of 4, okay, because I want to cut the back and the front pattern together. So after folding this, the next thing I did was to rule my starting line. Then from that my starting line, I marked out 3 inches, which should be 7 as my neck width, and the depth for the back I marked 2 inches. So I went ahead and connected it. So this is 7 as my back neckline. So from that starting line again, I came down by 8 inches to mark the depth of my front neckline, okay. So at that part I made a mark. Then from that mark I went inside and marked 1 inches, okay. So from that the neck width that we marked, the 3 inches we marked before, we are going to be connecting it to that 1 inches, okay. I believe that this is self-explanatory, so go ahead and connect yours. So you'll be having it looking like this, like a V, but not a perfect V. Okay, so we are done with the neckline. The next thing is to work on the shoulder. So the shoulder I'm working with measure 16, so half of it will give me 8. So I went ahead and marked my 8. Now after that, you now decide how long you want your sleeve area to be, because this is a kimono, okay. So now the sleeve I want to work with 11, but it will have an attachment of 2 inches. So I went ahead and marked 9 inches, okay. So the black fabric will make up for the 2 remaining inches. Okay, so after doing that, the next thing we are going to be doing is to work on how open, how wide we want our sleeve to be, okay. So but before that, you go ahead and take your shoulder slant or shoulder slope of 1.5 and connect it to the shoulder. Can you see what I did? From that sleeve I went down by 1.5, then connected it back to the shoulder. Now after doing that, you will go ahead and mark all our vertical measurements. So for now, what you're going to be marking is your shoulder to your half length, okay. So I'm working with half length of 15.5, so I went ahead and marked my 15.5. After that, you go ahead and mark your hip. So from that 15.5, I measured down 8 inches, okay. That's my client's hip length, okay. So go ahead and mark your hip from your half length. You go ahead and measure your hip. Then after that, the next thing you're going to take is go ahead and connect it into a horizontal line, like I'm doing in the video. Then after connecting into a horizontal line, you go ahead and take the desired length of the gown. Now the desired length of the gown I'm working with measures 38, but because I'll be adding an extension of 3 inches, I'll go ahead and mark out 35 inches, okay. So because I'm going to be using 3 inches black fabric to add to the down part, I'll go ahead and mark out 35 inches. So that will be my desired length for now. The 3 inches will be coming in later to make up for the 38. All right, so I'll go ahead and make a mark there, and also come in with my ruler and connect it into a straight horizontal line like I'm doing in the video, okay. Now after marking that, the next thing we are going to do is to determine how wide we want our sleeve area to be, okay. So I want to work with 10 inches, so I'll go ahead and from that my slope, I'll go ahead and come down by 10 inches and make a mark there, okay. So these 10 inches that I've made, I'm going to be marking it all around, okay. So I'll connect it into a straight horizontal line. This new line that I have now will serve both as my sleeve opening and also as my bust line, okay. So I'll go ahead and check what I have there. I have 10 inches and I've gone ahead to roll it into a straight horizontal line, so it's going to be serving as my sleeve opening and my bust line. So I also go ahead and use my ruler like so and roll it down into a vertical line to have that straight line. Now you can see that everything is coming together. So the next thing I'm going to do is placing my tape on that line that I said will be serving as my bust line. I'll go ahead and take my bust divided by 4. Okay, so at this point it's not left for you to determine how free you want the dress to be. The bigger the allowance, the finer the dress. So I'm going to be working with 4 inches, 3 inches allowance and 1 inches seam allowance. Marking that, the next thing I will do is to come down to the hip line, okay, not the half length. I'll go down to the hip line, and like I did upward, I'll also go ahead and mark my hip circumference divided by 4. Okay, so here I marked my hip circumference divided by 4. Now after marking it, I also went ahead and added the 4 inches allowance that I'm working with. So the next thing now is, at this point I discovered that the sleeve measurement for the client is 12 and not 11 like I did before. So I went ahead and added 1 inches to it. Remember, I marked 8 inches. I marked 9 inches before, hoping that I'll be using 2 inches black extension. Now I've gone ahead to correct it. So what I have there is 10. So when I now add the 2 inches with the black material, we'll be having 12 there. So the next thing is to go ahead and connect your material like this. Connect the two mark you have at your bust line and your hip line, and then go ahead and come in with your ruler and rule it straight all the way down like so. Okay, at this point you're almost done. The only thing you have to do is to go ahead and curve like I'm doing in the picture. So from that your bust line that you have there, go ahead and curve it out like so. Now after that, come in with your scissors and cut out everything perfectly. Alright, while cutting the shoulder part, you're not going to be cutting the shoulder slope directly, rather you're going to be leaving ½ inch. Remember, you're going to be joining it, okay? So I went ahead and marked out or left ½ inches while cutting it out. Now the first thing I'm going to be cutting here is you're going to be cutting the back neckline first before cutting the front neckline, okay? So go ahead and cut out the back neckline first, like I'm doing in the video. Now after cutting it, remember this material is on a fold of 4. You're going to be separating it, okay? So you are going to go ahead and lift it up like I'm doing and take out the inside one. All right, if you folded it the way I did mine, you'll be seeing 2 pieces inside. So you go ahead and take out the inside one and leave the one that has the marking on it. So I'm going to go ahead, after taking it out, to go ahead and refold this fabric. Now after refolding it, I'll now come in with my scissors and cut out the front neckline, the V part, okay? So just watch closely to see how I'm cutting it. You come in, you cut the parts that you have that 1 inches, then you go ahead and trace out the V region. Now after doing this, you're done drafting and cutting. So the next thing is to go ahead and start joining. And to join, you're going to start joining the front and the back. First, you start at the shoulder. So I'm going to open it nicely like so and join the shoulder with ½ inches. Now after joining the shoulder, the next thing is to work on the neckline, which is very important. So go ahead and measure what you have. Use your tape and measure all around, or you can just go ahead and cut out something you know that will be long enough to accommodate the neckline. So mine, I went ahead and measured it before cutting out. So after measuring it, you're going to be using it to cut out a black strap, okay? So the width of the black strap will measure 2 inches, while the length should be enough to accommodate your neck region, okay? So after measuring my length, I went ahead and cut out this long strap material on a fold, okay? So on a fold like this, I have it to measure 2 inches. I have also gone ahead to attach my gum stain to this to give it firmness, okay, or to make it to be thicker. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to start attaching. The width of this, like I told you, measures 2 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do is turn the material to the right side, okay, to enable us to attach the black fabric to the neck region. Now this is what I have it looking like. So to attach your black fabric, you're going to mark ½ inches downward and start attaching. Make sure you have excess down there. Now to start joining, what you do is go ahead and mark ½ inch down, okay? So I'll go ahead from that end, I'll go ahead and mark ½ inch down. That's where I'll start sewing from, and also go ahead to the other side and mark ½ inch. Now I'm going to start attaching this sleeve at that point, okay? So I'll place my my folded material like so and start attaching all the way around the fabric, okay? So you can make sure you have excess. It's very important. It's better you have more than you have less. All right, so I'll go over to my machine, and this is what I have. I've gone ahead to attach it. The next thing you're going to do is from the end, go ahead and notch down to that place you have that ½ inch that you marked down ½ inch, okay? So I'm so sorry I didn't capture it in my camera. So after that, you have something like this. Go ahead and make the 2 side notch. Can you see it? Okay, so after that, you go ahead and flip it inward like so. Now you have a material that will come out. So go ahead and fold that material inside like so. Can you see what I'm doing here? Okay, you can either go ahead and stitch on top of it or flip it backward, which is what I'm going to be doing. Okay, so as long as you made your notch of ½ inch, you're going to be having a material like this. So go ahead and stitch. Now I'm done stitching, and this is how nice I have everything looking. Okay, so we are done working on the neck region. The next thing is to go ahead and work on our sleeve extension. Okay, so to start, what I'm going to do is to go ahead and open my sleeve region like so. So now what you're going to do to work on your sleeve is that you're going to bring in a material, okay, a strap material. The width of this material is 4 inches, so I'll go ahead and stitch. So the first thing is you stitch from the wrong side, then you flip it to the right side and hold it. This is just an extension, okay? I believe you can do this. So you start sewing from the wrong side, then you turn it over to the right side. Okay, so I'll go ahead and repeat it on the both sleeve, and this is what I have it looking. Okay, so you just cut a strip that measures 4 inches, you start sewing from the wrong side and then flip it over to the right side. It serves as an extension. All right, so now after doing that, I'm also going to be repeating the same thing at the down. Remember, we use the full length of 35 against 38. So the length of this black material should be long enough to accommodate your dress, okay, the width of your dress. Why the width measures 6 inches. Remember, I used 35 against 38, so I have 3 inches remaining. So this is me showing you the length of what I have, which is 6 inches. So after folding, you have it to be remaining 3 inches. So just like I did to the sleeve region, to attach this material, I'll first of all stitch to the wrong side. Okay, so you go ahead and place it and place it the right side of the material, black material, facing the wrong side of the main fabric. Okay, you go ahead and make the first straight stitch and then turn it over to the right side and then fold it and stitch on the former stitch you did before. Okay, it is very simple. It will just serve as an extension. So here I'm done stitching mine, and this is what I have. All right, so now this thing, I'm gonna head to cut out pocket for this dress. You can also go ahead and cover out yours, or you watch my previous tutorial if you're confused on how to attach pocket. So now to attach your pocket, what you're going to do is from that your shoulder joining, you're going to keep your tape and measure down to your half inch, okay, your half length rather. So my half length measures 15.5. So to that 15.5, you're going to come down by 1 inch. So what it means is that I'm going to be marking 16.5. So I'll go ahead and mark the 16.5. That was the region I'm going to be attaching the pocket. I also went ahead and repeated it on the other side. Go ahead and repeat the 16.5. All right, after making the both mark, I came in with my scissors and notched the side. Okay, and notched the both side. Now to attach your pocket is very simple. Go ahead and raise the fabric up, then bring in the material you have. Of course, you'll be having 2 pairs of this cut out fabric. Okay, so go ahead and place the right side facing the right side from that marked line and go ahead and stitch it, just what I'm showing you. Okay, so repeat the same thing on the other side. You have it looking like so. Now go ahead and bring it out like the way you are seeing it in the video. Now the next thing is to go ahead and close with 1 inch. Remember, why drafting this, I told you that I'll be using 1 inch for seam allowance, while the 3 remaining inch will serve as the allowance for the dress. Okay, so go ahead and mark out the 1 inch all around your dress and stitch. Okay, so at this point, what you have to do is just to go ahead and mark out the 1 inch. When you get to the pocket region, also go ahead and mark around the pockets like I'm doing in the video, then stitch all the way. All right, okay. So now to the highlight of the dress, which is the drawstring, which gives it the beauty of a flare. So what you're going to do is place your tape at that shoulder line and go ahead and mark your half length. So the half length is 15.5. So I'm going to go up by half inch and come down by half inch. So I'm going to be making a mark at 15 and then another mark at 16, so that I will be having a gap in between them. Do you understand? So if your half length is 15.5, you're going to go up by half inch, that's 15, and come down by half inch, that's 16. So go ahead and make the mark all around the dress. Okay, so you can see my mark, and that's where I'm going to be attaching the channel. We're going to, so the next thing you're going to do is to go ahead and get the midpoint of your dress. Okay, so the easier way to do it is to fold your fabric into 2 and iron it to get the line, but because there is no light, I just went ahead and rule out my midpoint. All right, so you're going to measure what you have there to know the length of what you're going to be cutting. So there I have my midpoint, and I've gone ahead to cut out a fabric that is long enough to go around. Okay, so this fabric is long enough to go all around the dress. So what I'm going to do is, the width of this fabric measures 2 inches, so you're going to fold in half inch. Like I told you, there was no light, but if you have light, go ahead and iron half inch on both edge. All right, so after ironing it, you're going to start stitching. So what you first of all do is, like I told you, go ahead and fold half inch on the both side, then you're going to be placing it. Now the first thing you're going to do is to go ahead and stitch the upper part, pin it if need be, then go ahead and stitch the upper part like I'm showing in the video. Place yours and stitch carefully. Okay, then you now stitch the down part like so. All right, just like a bayat. So go ahead and stitch the upper part open it like so and stitch the upper part, then you take it down and stitch the down part all the way around it, thereby creating a channel. Then when you're done creating the channel, the next thing is to go ahead, remember that midpoint, you're going to start at that midpoint, all right, and it will end at the midpoint also. So go ahead and create your channel, and then after doing it, the next thing is to pass your thread. Okay, so here I'm done creating my channel. You can see I have the opening, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and fold it down again and stitch the down all the way around. Ensure that you stitch only the front part and not stitching the front part and the back part of the fabric. Okay, you can see that I have opening there. I did not stitch the front and the back together. Okay, so after stitching, the next thing is to go ahead and create a rope. Okay, or you can use your jogger's rope and now pass through the channel. What you did is just to create an outward channel, so you're going to be passing the rope, and this is what you have it looking like. Please don't forget to like, share and comment to encourage this channel. Thank you and stay tuned.